Everyone knows what Diary of a Wimpy Kid is. You read it in school. When you was a child, it was there at the book fair. Everyone wanted to read it. Everyone bought those fucking books. They bought them up like they're fucking something that's bought a lot. I don't know. But when you grow up, you don't read them as much because when you're a young child, it fits you. It's about motherfuckers in middle school doing shit. And if you're in elementary school or middle school or even high school, you're like, I can relate to this. This is my world experience. This is my now. But when you're an adult, you're so far away from it, you know? You can't engage with it the same way. So you don't read them. And typically what happens with book series like that is they're made for a specific age group and then the author moves on to other things. But Jeff Kinley has not moved on. That book series is on its 16th book right now, with the 17th coming out in October. Just a couple of days ago, I was shitting my brains up because I've been eating a lot of beans. I really like refried beans and black beans, come up with some peppers, some cumin, some chili powder, shit like that. It's fucking gold. So anyways, I was on the toilet. I was shitting my brains out. My pink starfish was going through it. But as there was turds hanging out my... But as I was shit my brains out, I was on my phone, as I do, and I seen the fact that 17th book was coming out in October, and I started to die laughing. I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Just the fact that this book series has kept going on, because who the fuck are you writing these books for? Jeff. Who is this for? Because at my age, that's my generation, my group, my age demographic, we was the motherfuckers who was reading that shit as a young child. I was a young girl. I was reading through those books. I was reading through the books. I was flipping through them. I was soaking it up. I disengaged with it as I got older, you know? And I just really thought the concept that is funny. And I really don't think that the people watching this video is going to understand how funny I think that concept is of just writing these books year after year after year. So I thought I'm going to read them all. And so over the past 2 days, after I would clock out of work, after I get back to my apartment, I'd read these books for 7 hours straight. And in 2 days, I read all 16 books. And let me tell you, it was an experience. And one thing I just want to say before we delve into this is Greg Heffley is the biggest piece of shit. He is the biggest cunt, the biggest twat, the biggest prick on the planet. He is a horrible person and he deserves his own special place in hell right next to goddamn Hitler. He's a piece of shit. He's a horrible person. I would go as far as to say is he is an abusive piece of shit. He is an abuser to Rowley. Because Rowley was the it girl. Rowley was a bad bitch. He was so nice to everyone. He was so kind to everyone. He was so genuine. He was so wholesome. The ladies loved him. And Greg hated him for that. Greg hated the fact that he could get some, that he could talk it up with the ladies, that he could have good experiences. So Greg would shit on him constantly. He would make fun of him. He would talk shit to him. He would embarrass him. He would do all these sorts of things. He broke his fucking arm at one point just to tear Rowley down. But Rowley never capitulated. Rowley never folded. Rowley pushed through and continues to this day to be the bad bitch that Rowley is. But the thing is, it's not just Greg that's an asshole. It's not just Greg that's an asshole. See, this book takes place in a world that I can best describe is a conservative's wet dream where every human being is pretty much just inherently selfish, where they're just horrible people and they only worry about themselves. Because that's what everyone does in this book. Every single person, save for a couple people, like 95% of the characters in this book are worried about number one, numero uno. That's it. Greg's great aunts, they only give a fuck about themselves. They fucking don't give a shit about Greg when he's around. It's just so funny watching these people. Like reading these books sometimes is almost uncanny valley because it's like, yeah, this is human. I've seen humans that do this, but for every single human to always pick the bad choice, because let's say there's two forks in the road. There's the good choice, the moral choice, and then there's the bad choice. Majority of the characters will take the bad choice, and Greg Heffley will 99% of the time take the bad choice. Greg Heffley is, oh my God, Greg Heffley. I know I'm going back to this. He's such a piece of shit. He will lie about people. He will make fun of people. He will tear people down. He will talk shit about anyone. He will fucking do anything. He will let anyone else take the blame for his mistakes. He won't step up. He won't do the right thing. Every single decision in his life is the bad one. He is a horrible person. And honestly, it has to be his parents' fault because children they're not just born the fucking spawns of Satan. They're molded into that. They're created into that. So something that his parents is doing is not good. I think with Greg's mom, she coddles him too much. Because I remember there's a scene in one of the earlier books. I don't remember which one exactly it was, but They went to a like haunted house for Halloween. Greg did Rowley, the mom, and Manny, the youngest sibling. And the mom, Mother Heffley, Mrs. Heffley, went off on the people running the haunted house because it was too scary. She went off on the people running a haunted house because it was scary. The fuck? That's what the fuck? Also, on that same Halloween, you know what the dad does? You know what Papa Heffley does? He fucking, oh my God, he will fucking wait in the bushes for kids to run past with their costumes, their candy, having a great time. And he will dump a trash can full of water on them. What the fuck? They're awful people. Like I said, everyone in this book is awful. But there is one thing throughout this book that I could really relate with Greg on. Throughout Greg's life, there's a lot of times his father wants him to do the masculine thing, the man thing, but he doesn't want to. He wants to do either a feminine thing, he just doesn't want to do the masculine thing. He just kind of wants to do like the neutral middle ground thing. And that's an experience I can relate with because growing up, if you didn't know, I'm a trans woman. So I was socialized as a little boy growing up. And there was a lot of things that I do like to do that's masculine. There's a lot of things I do like to do that's traditionally masculine. I was a fucking sports athlete. I was varsity athlete back in high school. But there's a lot of things that I didn't want to do. And I was kind of forced to, I was kind of pushed to. And that's how a lot of my gender dysphoria like expressed itself, is by me trying to be this masculine macho man when I really did not want to be. And I just was not, because I'm a woman. Now, Greg's not trans, I don't think. He's not written to be a trans character in any way. But I just, like, I remember relating to that really like a lot back when I was a young child. Young little girl in my little school doing my little fucking reading little work. And even as an adult reading these books back, I was like, damn, that is here. So I thought that was cool. That's just a little sweet little like personal takeaway that I had from the books. I don't think it was written with that intention at all, but that's what I got from it. Now, like I said earlier, how I read these books 7 hours a day for 2 days. I pretty much did it as a second full-time job. I kind of slogged my way through it. I wasn't having as much fun as like a child who's just reading this to have a good time, because I did this with the goal of making this video. For me, it was almost work. But even with that pretense of like sitting down and pretty much studying these books, taking notes, writing things down, whatever the fuck, there were genuine moments where I laughed out loud. Now, not a whole bunch. It wasn't a whole bunch. It was like 4 or 5 times that I laughed out loud. But there's not a lot of times where I'm reading a book that's intended to be funny that I laugh out loud. Now, it was 5 times across 16 books. So just keep that in mind. It's not the best ratio, but given the fact that I'm not the intended audience at this point, and I've read some of those jokes already, and some of them made me laugh, even though I had already read them before, I'd say that's pretty good for the most part. I bet some young fucking dumb piece of shit little kid is fucking giggling their fucking way to the bank. Is that a saying? I don't give a shit. Fuck you. Also, one thing that this series does, it really demonstrates how men, young boys, fathers, whoever, rely on the women in their life for domestic labor. Because in the book, there is one woman in the house, the mom Heffley. Mama Heffley is the only woman in the house. And women are socialized to be the caretakers, to always be attentive, to do all the little things, to make sure that the fridge is clean, the fucking house is clean, that people's emotion is taken care of, things like that, to cook the food, to clean the house. And throughout the book, the father is horrible at consoling the children emotionally. But there's one thing that really struck out to me. The mom went back to college. She was taking night classes, so she wasn't able to make dinner. And that family fell the fuck apart. They could not cook to save their lives. They didn't know how to make fucking spaghetti. Really? They didn't want to eat leftovers. They couldn't whip up scrambled eggs even. These fucking men, all the way from toddler age Manny to adult Papa Heffley, could not do shit. So I thought that was really accurate. That was a really big societal thing that, I'm going to be honest, I think a lot of men, like young boy children, whatever the fuck, reading this growing up, I think they're going to miss. I don't think they're really going to look out for that one. But if you're fucking like a 5-year-old fucking boy watching this right now, first of all, I use too many naughty words for you. Don't fucking watch my videos. But if you're watching this now, remember, go help your mom with the fucking food, clean up your room, don't be a little bitch, okay? One thing about these books though is they got crazier and crazier as like time went on with each book, for the most part, because it's like 16 books, you know, you kind of start to lose ideas and maybe some believable aspects it's hard to write about. Because in the 15th book, the family goes on a road trip in an RV. Right? They go on a road trip with an RV and they stay at this campsite for RVs, like a RV campsite. And while they're there, there's a big storm, and the bridge that connects them to the outside world, because it's a little island, the bridge that connects the campsite to the outside world, it collapses. Part of the bridge falls down. There's a hole in the bridge, and supplies cannot get to the campsite. So society breaks down. The people living there raid the campsite. They raid the fucking store that's there. They take all the water. They fucking pull up all the water from the well. They fucking, all that shit. Society collapses. And while all this chaos is going on, there's fighting around. People is going batshit fucking insane. The Greg Heffley RV, the Greg Heffley camper, fucking, while they're all in it, goes into the river. It goes into the river. It's floating down the river. And it's doing some spins. It's going crazy. And it falls and fits perfectly into where the bridge hole is. So they plug up the bridge hole with their RV, and then everyone drives and leaves them there. Everyone leaves and escapes. And reading that, I think it was about like 40, 30 pages of the end of the book where shit just starts to go batshit fucking bonkers. And reading that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because it was like normal, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid shit, and then it just goes batshit. Like, there's no way Jeff Kinley was fucking sober when he wrote that shit. So if you want to read one of the most hectic, chaotic, action-packed Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, the 15th book is just a little bit different than the rest of them. Anyways, if you like this video, click this video right here. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy that video. Bye-bye. Have a great fucking day, you dirty cuck.